All right, the sheriff of Fentress County has been booked into jail on a charge of tampering with government records. Sheriff Michael Reagan's arrest comes amid a TBI investigation. You know, we first told you about this investigation back in August. It also involved General Department Instructor Jerry Mifflin. Now, documents 6 News obtained through a public records request show this stems from allegations into a lack of required peace officer standards and training or post-training. The document states Sheriff Reagan had Mifflin complete some of his required training for him, including 6 hours of training on topics such as mental illness and response to a mental health crisis. Meanwhile, tonight in a statement, the Fentress County Sheriff's Office writes, quote, "Our commitment to transparency, accountability, and service to you all remains unchanged." The Sheriff's Office also says our patrol operations, investigations, emergency response, corrections, and public safety services will all proceed as normal, end quote. Now, the sheriff, by the way, was released from jail this afternoon. Our next Big 7 story for you tonight. Today, we are taking a look at how the end of the government shutdown is affecting the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The park has now resumed normal operations and welcomed back furloughed staff members. Now, the National Parks Conservation Association tells 6 News staff are working to understand the new normal after the shutdown. Regional Director Ebony Preston Goddard says 2025 has already been a tough year for the National Park Services, and teams are reviewing long-term impacts on many projects and visitor services. During the shutdown, East Tennessee partners, including Sevier County and Mayor Larry Waters, helped keep the park open. As a matter of fact, Waters says it was worth the effort, though it's still unclear if partners will be reimbursed.
We're going to ask our federal representatives if that's possible, and if they would promote us being reimbursed, because the government shut down, you know, that's no fault of our own, and it was such an important aspect of our economy.
Mayor Waters went on to say if they do get the money back, it will be dispersed proportional to all the partners involved. All right, move down our list for you now. Many East Tennessee families lined up early this month for holiday food distributions, but others still need help heading into Thanksgiving next week. Second Harvest says its mobile pantries remain busy as demand continues to rise despite the shutdown being lifted. You know, at yesterday's mobile pantry, Second Harvest says cars started lining up before dawn, a sign of just how many families are still trying to recover after the recent SNAP interruptions. The food bank tells us November has brought some of the busiest turnout they've seen as their partners now work to stretch what's left of their supplies. Now, they're still running mobile distributions through next Wednesday across several counties.
On Monday, we'll be in Monroe County with 500 households of food. On Tuesday, we'll be in Cott County with 500 households. And on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, we'll be in Claiborne County at Cumberland Gap High School with food and holiday trimmings for 500 households.
Second Harvest says each distribution next week will serve hundreds of households before switching to Christmas meal boxes in December. And we will have a full list of those remaining pantry locations and times for you. Just go to our website, wate.com. Now that the shutdown is over, the federal government has released the jobs report for the month of September, with the Bureau of Labor Statistics reporting that 120,000 new jobs were created in September. But it's important to remember this is a net total, and that while some industries added jobs, other industries shedded them. Over 6,000 manufacturing workers lost their jobs in November as the effects of tariffs continue to hit the country. 57,000 new jobs were created in healthcare and social assistance companies, driving much of the growth as the country's population continues to age rapidly.
It is pretty much being driven by 2 sectors, healthcare and restaurants. Manufacturing, mining, local government, federal government, any kind of other private sector is in decline right now.
Professor Michael Kofed of the University of Tennessee worries that the growth in demand for caregivers is not sustainable and cautions that the October and November numbers will paint a clearer picture. Next on the Big 7 for you, a mother has now been convicted after her 16-year-old daughter overdosed on fentanyl. Now, this case goes back to 2022 when Stacy Bowles and her daughter visited Bowles' husband, Dustin, at UT Medical Center. The Knox County DA's office says Stacy brought a bag of fentanyl to share with her husband. Prosecutors add all 3 family members went on to overdose in the hospital room. We're told all 3 were revived with naloxone. However, the DA's office says the overdose led to the daughter becoming permanently disabled. Dustin Bowles died while charges were pending against him. Stacy Bowles is facing between 8 and 12 years in prison without the possibility of parole. Her sentencing date is now set for mid-January. And this case is not the only one like it in today's headlines. Throughout the afternoon, we have been telling you that 23-year-old Christopher Ward of Oak Ridge has been convicted of aggravated child neglect. This after his 1-year-old daughter overdosed on fentanyl last year. His child has since recovered. And for our final Big 7 story for you tonight, University of Tennessee wants a federal court to let it keep a professor off the job as it defends the decision to suspend her over her comment about the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Assistant Professor Tamar Sherinian has been on administrative leave, and the university has been working to fire her. Now, Chancellor Dondi Plowman said she believes Sherinian's remarks, appeared to endorse campus violence. Sherinian is suing and asking to be returned to the classroom before the case goes to trial. The lawsuit argues that Sherinian thought she was writing privately on Facebook as a private citizen and did not mention UT. UT counters in court paperwork filed yesterday that Sherinian should have expected backlash to her writing would be disruptive to the university and her ability to do her job. Also, UT argues that Sherinian can't show that her lawsuit is likely to succeed. Now, Sherinian has since apologized for her comments. And we are hearing from the wing commander of the 134th Air Refueling Wing after learning that 8 next-generation refueling aircraft are coming to East Tennessee. Last night at 6, we told you that McGhee-Tyson Air National Guard Base has been selected to receive the new KC-46A Pegasus tanker aircraft. These new aircraft will replace the older KC-135s that are currently at the base. Well, right now you're looking at some video from inside a KC-135 from when we got a chance to ride along back in 2021. The commander of the 134th says this changeover will significantly expand operational reach. He also calls it a win.
It's really overwhelming. To have the opportunity to receive the Air Force's newest air refueling airplane is a big win for this wing and for the community as a whole.
Colonel Ron Selvage, you just heard from, adds an additional hangar will need to be built to accommodate the new aircraft.